Am I the only one that enjoyed this more as soon as that mayonnaise face was gone? What's with the pointless selfie in the thumbnail? Your face won't improve your content. I don't think anyone cares. People who listen to audiobooks don't stare at their screen. Maybe invest in a better microphone. You should really stop doing that, bro. You're fucking the story all up by recording yourself like a dork. Don't like the fact that I could see your face, as I don't know what's scarier, your face or the story. Dude, love your stories, but please stop making me watch you read. It's horrible. My brother CGS, why must you do this? You do good work, but your face ruins the atmosphere. You are handsome, but handsome does not help horror stories. Please, at least upload a faceless version of your videos too. So here's the thing, back on June 13th of this year I was demonetized for duplication, or, as they put it now, reused content. And before I go any further, let me explain to you what YouTube's policy is. Here's why your channel wasn't approved for monetization. And again, don't forget, I was monetized. I had been for years now. Reused content. In most cases, you can't re-upload someone else's content unless you get permission first. Remember, it's not enough to credit the content owner or state that no copyright infringement is intended. Learn more about copyright and fair use. Here are some types of content that are subject to copyright. And they list off a few things here. Audiovisual works like TV shows and movies. Sound recordings and musical compositions. Visual and written works, including paintings, posters, articles, and books. Dramatic works, such as plays and musicals. Video games, and computer software. Now, over the last couple of months, I've not been the only horror narration creator that has been hit by this. In fact, there's been several of us. Southern Cannibal, Horror Babble, Slumber Reads, Duchess Dark, Goodnight Goosebumps, Mr. Black Pasta, Dead Man Talking's Forest of Fear, and Vidith 22. We've all been hit with demonetization, meaning we can't make any money off of YouTube. And it's only theory, but we also suspect that we get hurt in the YouTube rankings and under people's recommended viewing. Now, that means a bunch of different things for these other creators. And don't get me wrong, horror narration channels aren't the only creators that have been hit. We've been hit hard, but also ambient sound or ambient music creators have been hit just as hard as well. So I started deleting all these videos in hopes to regain monetization, in hopes that maybe YouTube would see that, hey, he's deleting some videos and maybe has some stock footage or whatever else. At the time, we didn't know really what YouTube was looking for. In fact, we really don't. We theorized that these stories being narrated over and over could be a possibility. There recently was another version of Fleshgate put out that puts it at 4 or 5 total. Now, I took mine down because, again, duplication. If that's the reason, I don't want my version up there. Completely gone. And that doesn't mean that we're all duplicating one another. We're certainly not. We're telling the same story over and over with different narrators. And the new version of Fleshgate is very good. In fact, all the narrations are. But it is the same story. We're not sure if YouTube actually views that as duplication. Because when you really look at other videos on the platform, there's 1,000 dark web box openings. There's 1,000 gameplay videos of Fortnite. So ultimately, what this all means is that there has to be change. Now, just recently in October, we did get a letter from YouTube. But up until October, I've tried reapplying twice to YouTube's partner program. And keep in mind, when they demonetize you, there is no assistance. They cut off help and support to your channels immediately. There's nobody you could contact. There's nobody on Reddit. You can scream your head off on all the forums, and nobody's going to pay attention to you unless you're a much, much larger channel. In October of this year, YouTube released another bit of information. If my channel was removed for duplication, what can I do? You can remove or update content to comply with our policies and reapply for YPP in 30 days. At that time, we will carefully review your application and channel again. Here are some best practices to get you started. Add commentary or show your presence in your videos, voice or on screen. Link back to your YouTube channel from your website. Provide more context about your work in your video and channel descriptions. Make sure the content on your channel aligns with our policies, and then you could review them here. So now we have a few more answers from YouTube on to how to progress, how to get rid of things, how to change things, and ultimately how to fix things to get your channel remonetized through YouTube. We theorize, and when I say we, my other demonetized narrators and myself on Twitter theorize not only written works could be considered duplication, but static images, loop videos. After all, we all kind of use the same process. An image or looping video so that the watchers, listeners, don't have to pay attention to the video itself. Now, YouTube is a video platform. They use video advertising. It doesn't really surprise me, after all this thought, that they would want you to watch the videos. And so channel changes here on my channel have been coming since June. I'm putting my face out there. I've been creating my own loops. And then I kind of stopped doing the loops because I'm figuring that that might not be a good thing to progress. They might not want the loops. That might be triggering their algorithm, their duplication or reuse content algorithm. So primarily from here on out, you're going to be seeing my face in every video. The descriptions are going to be very forthcoming on who wrote the content, whether it be myself and the people that helped me write these stories or a guest author. The thumbnail, I'm still messing around with. I'm testing things out because I don't know what's going to work and what's not. But YouTube gave us a direct answer. Add commentary or show your presence in your videos. And I'm doing just that. So you're going to be seeing my narcissistic, as a couple people put, thumbnail on every one of my videos. It's just the way it has to be, you know. I'm not going to sit here, I'm not going to apologize for it. I never wanted to actually go this route with my channel. I wanted to delve more into film-based stories, but without any sort of channel monetization or money coming in. I can't go out and finance a camera or everything that I need to do to make those short films. So I had to kind of veer my path a bit. Listen, I know this isn't ideal for people that just want to listen to a story and not watch me narrate. By all means, you could tab out or just kind of put your device down and not watch me and still listen to me. And now I don't know what's going to happen with other horror narration channels. I don't know what's going to happen if they don't change the way they present their videos. A lot of people are still doing the same thing. People are using the same images, the same stock photos, the same loops, the same type of thumbnails. And when you compare all our thumbnails, they're almost identical. I can't tell the difference a lot of times between this horror narrator or this horror narrator. And I think for the most part, the listeners actually like that. There's a reason why we do those types of thumbnails. They attract attention. They're clean, they're crisp, they're eye-catching. Unfortunately, they probably have to change too. My final thoughts on this is that I'm sure I'm forgetting something. There's so much more information out there. There's so many more people that have been demonetized. There's so many people that are trying to get monetization and they've been waiting months and it hasn't come through. I have a great support system on Patreon, and thank you so much for my patrons that support me through there. And thank you to everybody that supports the channel just by watching the videos, just by leaving a comment down below. Anyway, guys, thank you for the support. Thank you for the understanding. And I'll catch you in the next story.